disconnected.
Let's try one more time. Heather, I'm at the court. Hopefully they can hear me this time.
On the warrant of search for the apartment in question and also the arrest warrant as had been laid out by the defense multiple times.
Perfect.
Is this correct? So,
Correct.
yeah.
I believe so, yeah.
All right, because it had just been opened with just one warrant, so I was just making sure for my notes. Appreciate it. Jessica Ashbrook, Assistant State Attorney.
Prosecutor.
An attorney.
And the defense, please.
Winifred Baker.
Here we go.
And if the defendant can just rise and state their name for the record, please.
Heather.
Adjuster.
Perfect. And before we begin with the hearing, are there any pre-hearing motions that we need to get out of the way, or are we good to proceed?
State is ready, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, without further ado, let's begin with the defense, as they're the one motioning for this the probable cause hearing. So whenever you're ready.
Sure thing. Your Honor, I'll cut to the chase. I have concerns over the two items today. The warrant requesting the ownership of apartment 16 and the resulting arrest warrant that came after for Jonathan Rochester. I believe that there are insufficient grounds for probable cause on both. Since they both handle the same evidence, if it's okay with you, I'll handle them together. In the warrant of ownership of the apartment and the resulting arrest warrant for Mr. Rochester, they brought three main points in that request. Firstly, they believe that the voice on the radio belonged to someone identified as belonging to the Whisperers. I find this baseless on multiple points. No method or explanation of identification was given of why he was tied to the Whisperers. Additionally, the state has ruled time and time again that voice is not a reliable piece of evidence for identification. Most interestingly, in the recording, the state submitted that recording of the radio call. You can hear the police officers involved discussing the voice that is on the radio. You can find it at 1 minute, 50 seconds. Of that voice, they said, this is a different voice. So what I'm finding confusing in that point is this an identified whisperer or is it a new voice that the detectives have not heard before? Their second claim was that the suspect seemed to have access to the apartment. That would be the apartment that Miss Jax was found in. There is nothing specifying in these warrants about the exact cause of how he got into the apartment, although they do allege he had a key. There's nothing proving that. And even if the suspect did, having a key in and of itself does not prove that the owner of the apartment was aware of or party to the crimes committed. Their third claim was regarding the radio conversation submitted. I transcribed this radio call myself, and at best, it's garbled. It's really hard to follow. Not only could I not fully hear what was being said, it was really clear the officers and the suspect on the radio also could not hear each other particularly well. They were constantly asking for each other to repeat what the other said, or working off of half sentences or like half heard statements. This leaves a great deal of uncertainty in the conversation, which was presented, but they present it as rock solid evidence in the arrest warrant. They say that this is the proof that he, in fact, admitted to owning the apartment. When they put that in the arrest warrant request, they said that the voice on the radio was asked, "Do you own the apartment?" And what they wrote down on the warrant was, "You think I don't." This is, in fact, not what he says in the recording. The actual exchange was that your apartment? The man then said, "You think it wasn't?" This is far from an admission. It is extremely ambiguous. Not only that, this is after a long conversation where the suspect appeared to be playing with the people he was talking to. He talked to multiple people. It was a game. It doesn't seem like he it was even stated as a question.
Attacking
You think it
Lady
wasn't?
Jux?
I can't say exactly the context of that because no one understood anyone in that radio call. What I would also point out that this is a man, this alleged suspect who had been on the lam from the law for months and months. And they are trying to make us believe that a person who had successfully evaded the police for months would give them his home address. I don't understand this. This warrant was written in a time when a series of events had put a huge amount of pressure on the PD and the DOJ to take action. People with high seats in the government were affected and demanding results. It was under this pressure that the warrant was written, and I believe affected the quality of the review. His statement contains multiple questionable statements on how the voice was identified, how it was implied, how he got into the apartment, and contained misleading transcripts of the radio conversation. Forgive me for my thoroughness here, but given this is capital, and he has been, in fact, sitting in prison for over a month now, based on crumbs, I think it is my responsibility to be exhaustive. At best, how this evidence is presented heavily confuses the issue. At worst, it is verging on bad faith. They wanted to stretch the little they had in order to get someone to say they did something. I'll entrust this matter to your judgment. Thank you.
Okay. And from the state, please.
Oh, the state normally does not get the rebuttal.
I don't think I have anything for the arrest warrant. The other one, maybe.
Just to validate, is this is 055, correct? This warrant that we're talking about, the arrest warrant at least, is 055, correct?
2 seconds, Your Honor. Let me double check my notes here.
Shit, they are not prepared.
Apologies, Your Honor. It's taking a little longer than anticipated. I got a lot of notes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Your Honor. It's going to be 2023 WA 055.
Okay. And what? I'm beyond confused. Hold on a second. This warrant is titled search and seizure, but it's labeled an arrest.
I didn't want a nickel and dime, but yeah,
Where-
there's some weirdness.
So is this is the arrest warrant? Where's the search warrant?
That was sealed and it was given in email.
Yes, I believe Prosecutor Oxburg provided that to yourself, Your Honor.
I believe I remember that. Let me see if I can just find it. Just before I let you guys proceed, because I just want to have everything open while you guys are talking. Just give me 1 second.
I don't even think this one going to go to court.
Okay, I found it. All right. So 55, 054. All right. All right. Whenever the state's ready, you guys can proceed.
They don't know what to do.
Of course, Your Honor. The defense claims that the original warrant for the search for the residence owner of apartment 16, I believe, was not based on probable cause. A law enforcement officer had a testimony from a witness, the victim nonetheless, that the individual had keys to the apartment. Law enforcement are more within their purview to request a warrant that was then later signed by a sitting judge of the San Andreas Judiciary
Yes, sometimes
to
I get
obtain the
stuck.
records for that. We believe that the justice that was presiding over signed that warrant within good faith, and as they stated, believed there was more than enough probable cause.
That was good. I didn't get to rebuttal at the PC hearing.
Okay, is that all from the state?
As for the second warrant, Your Honor, the arrest warrant, again, it's going to have to stand on its own merits. It was signed again by a circuit judge who, at the time, believed there was more than enough probable cause for the arrest warrant signed for Mr. Rochester.
It was his apartment. The lady being taken to his apartment by somebody with a key.
Okay. All right. Is that all from both sides?
If you have anything, send it.
If needed, I'm happy to get you timestamps for
I got
the,
really mad
particular,
yesterday
parts. It is a
when I
long
go to the
recording.
police here and they like your fake British accent. I wanted to be
Your
like,
Honor,
listen,
before the
bitch.
state steps down, there is one concern that the state has
not a
regarding
person
this
that goes
recording that had been
around
brought up on line 15 of the docket by the
using the
defense
same
counsel
voice for
themselves.
every
We don't mind
character
putting your
and
eyes to that.
expecting you to think. At least I put
second,
effort
let me pull
into
it up.
it, dummy.
Which I believe contradicts what's being said today, so I'd like clarification on such.
I have accidentally, especially as Morgan, so like Sonny, they're like, what the
Happy to
fuck is
provide
wrong with you?
clarification.
We haven't even presented it yet, defense.
I'm reading line 15, but I don't see anything. Am I just blind?
Yeah, it will be the second paragraph, Your Honor. As for the arrest warrant, the defense believes strongly that there is a great concern for this warrant. The only thing linking Mr. Rochester to the perpetrator was a key and cryptic sentence in a long, garbled conversation over the radio that was transcribed incorrectly on the original warrant request. It brings to question on the state on how the defense would come to this knowledge when the prosecution has yet to finalize submitting their evidence, as we still have time prior to the court proceedings case. How would they be obtainable of this information?
Happy to explain.
You can just. I want to make something. I want to set something for the record, and I'll be placing this on the docket, depending on regardless of the outcome of this probable cause hearing. So we are a two-party consent state, with the exception if you believe a crime is about to occur. Okay, and I haven't listened to the recording myself. And this is a consideration of where you can definitely, based on what I'm assuming the recording is about, and based on the case, and based on what's been said today, I'm sure the legality of the recording is okay. However, it comes down to the next part where voice identification through a recording, which has been stated by the defense, and it's also something in our state that is has been heavily instilled in all aspects of our court system, and it is that you cannot use voice to reliably identify an individual. So the recording, although may be valid, with the exception to the two-party consent law, it brings down to the next part, which, depending on the contents, may still be essentially useless due to my voice identification. So when I go into deliberation, I will listen to brief parts of the recording, and I'm happy to take timestamps, just so I don't have to sit there for however long the recording is. But I do want to notate for the record that depending on the outcome and what is contained within that voice recording, it may just become invalidated or useless at that point. Because like I said, if there is no installment of a situation where law enforcement that took the recording, that if they don't believe that a crime was about to occur or did occur on that recording, then it becomes invalidated, can no longer be utilized in court, and definitely shouldn't have been used in a warrant. So with that in mind, I'll allow the defense to rebut, and if they want to provide timestamps, they may.
I
Happy to.
do have one more concern that the state
Sure.
wishes to bring up, if you don't mind, Your Honor, before I lose my train of thought.
Mm-hmm.
Attached in the incident report to the warrant itself, there is a statement that has been provided by the victim, and if I may quote here, to
Which
further
The search or the arrest?
this will be upon the search warrant. If I remember, it will be IR 9250.
Okay, go ahead whenever you're ready.
The victim in question noticed a box, and the man said not to look inside as she would not like what she had found. He slashed her knees and stabbed one of her arms, but she was rummaging through the nearby container and found a gun. She fired then a few shots in hopes that neighbors would call the police. She then passed out and awoke at pillbox, stating that the individual had fired such shots on the scene of the location in question, apartment 16.
Is this in the PC affidavit for the search warrant?
That would have been in the
It-
sealed one.
It
in your
would be
email.
it would be in the application for the arrest warrant, as far as I am understanding. This is directly attached down in the probable cause. Yes,
Oh, okay. I see it.
yes.
I see.
Do you have it up, defense?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Okay. So that statement. What about it?
When did we become a two-party recording?
Just wanted
state?
to also bring that up on the question of everything going on regarding the probable cause that had been listed on the warrant, Your Honor.
Okay. And then the defense, you can rebut as needed.
Sure thing. So, from my understanding, the concern that the state brought up was regarding how I understood that the video was or the audio was transcribed incorrectly. I'm happy to walk you to where I got that audio recording, as it was included in the arrest warrant request. So I went to the signed arrest warrant, which then linked to the arrest warrant request, which in the probable cause portion has the link to a recording done by the detectives at the time of the radio conversation. In that probable cause section, they transcribed what was said as "you think I don't." So being a decent lawyer, I'd like to say, I went and listened to it myself and heard the alternate version of which I have described. That's how I got that information. Regarding how Miss Jax was unfortunately found in that situation, we are not debating that she was found in that apartment. And I am not sure how that would be an answer to anything that I have brought forth today.
What are we rebutting? I don't have anything.
Do you have that timestamp?
Oh, yes. So for the particular one asking about the ownership of the apartment, it would be at 10 minutes, 30 seconds.
Okay, and then anything else that would be useful for timestamps, or is that just about it?
Yes. So
Let's see.
the one, I think we've already addressed the voice part of that, but just in case you wanted that, that would be on.
I want to hear it. Kiss file.
That would be at minute 1 and 50 seconds. Was a discussion of the voice sounding different.
Okay, and that's it.
So you can get
Correct,
the
yes.
proper
Okay.
PP
Anything further from either side?
department so that y'all are able to document it.
You said you want to target Frost and Joey.
Take that as a no. Okay, so
Mhm.
I'm going to explain what I'm going to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my chambers, at which point I will review the recording at the timestamps and maybe skip through here and there for other things within the voice recording. From there, I'm going to do what I would do with any other warrant. I'm going to review the affidavits and the probable cause affidavits in the entirety. And essentially what it's going to come down to is would I approve the warrant or not? If the answer is yes, then we will proceed. And the warrants will remain active. If not, then I will invalidate the warrants and proceed on however it is motioned thereafter. Does that make sense to everybody?
Absolutely.
Okay. I have no idea how long this is going to take me. So I don't want to give you a time frame, but we'll be entering a recess. And as soon as I come to a conclusion, we'll come back into session.
Andre, I don't answer my phone when I'm in court. I'm just putting that out.
Yeah, I don't know
won't
what you're
pull it
saying.
out.
What'd you say?
I can't.
Why he made that motion on, or the argument on the docket of correcting mistakes, but it's too late now.
You're good currently.
No, not at all.
We're doing our
No.
best.
I know.
Is what it is.
We stated this was going to happen.
It's okay. My question is like those charges. Like we have this fingerprinting thanks to this whole
Yeah,
warrant. Is it gonna just
That
go like?
warrant, no, that warrant is only pertaining to Adrian. Everything else we can push forward at a later date.
Except any evidence that was found on his person during his
Exactly.
arrest.
But the rest of it we can tie together. I'm sure we can find a way to tie it together.
So, like the ID of the victim that was found on him during his arrest from the warrant, that would be invalidated.
Yeah.
You can
But
use it
there's-
in an investigation, but you can't use it as probable cause.
Wait, so fuck. Because
Yeah.
the car he had, that was literally a fucking Annabelle Holland's hair. We found her DNA in his car.
Yeah.
Fucking damn it.
I do not envy these people.
Over here.
I'm gonna go make me some soup, bro. I'll be back in 5 minutes.
So, even the ID card we found of Annabelle Holland's would be not counted as evidence.
Yeah,
then?
if this all gets thrown out, if the warrants get thrown out, then yeah, it'll be through the voice Restream. You won't be able to use it.
I'll go back now. Sorry.
Along with the ID that was in the house, the apartment.
No, you're fine. You're fine, Mace. I'm just we're talking here. I mean, you can.
Here, let me move over so you can hear as well.
He didn't hear you. Yeah.
Oh, so good.
He thinks
but
we're
yeah.
having one-sided conversation.
The ID on his person at his arrest, that would be invalidated, and the ID that was found in his apartment would be invalidated as well.
So even how about the car? Also, I guess anything
was
that
it-
was found in the car.
Was that found at the time of his arrest?
Yes.
Yeah. Anything linking to the warrants and his arrest from subsequent warrants would be validated. Yeah, I know. The in my opinion, personally, between us, the arrest warrant was rushed, like, big time. They should have waited for the forensic evidence to come back, and this
No,
would
the
not be an argument.
the thing is, they had forensics, but they only found like a stuff that doesn't like they don't have. It was inconclusive because
No,
you don't have.
We were
shit.
told that they had forensic evidence of his fingerprints on the box and the tape of the box and all of
Yeah,
that.
well, that was when I got his fingerprints after the arrest.
Oh, okay.
It got run everything over. Everything got run again because we had it, but they're like you can point it to anyone who didn't have a record at all. So that's what I'm saying. That's why I'm here worried. Because if it's counting even to his fingerprints, I mean, you need to like actually take his fingerprints probably off the of his profile, then this whole case can go to fucking trash. So that's why I'm asking currently.
Yeah. I don't know
If-
too much about the fingerprints because I don't know how you guys deal with. I think by law it's supposed to be removed if the charges are dismissed.
Oh god.
I believe.
Yeah. Can I ask Tobias or not?
I would hold off until the trial's concluded.
Okay.
He wouldn't be.
Anthony's at the back there. You could probably ask him. He'll know more than I do.
I will ask him afterwards. Sorry.
Yeah, my apologies. They literally
It's
were
fine.
looking at the arrest warrant. The house warrant was perfect. They can't argue the house warrant, right? For getting his residence, but the arrest warrant was severely lacking in details, evidence, and so on and so forth.
Because the house weren't like the apartment that belonged to him, so
Yeah.
that was based on it, I guess.
Yeah, so like in the arrest warrant, the only thing that was mentioned tying him to the house or tying him to this at all was one line that was said on the radio, which is what they're arguing, as well as his ownership of the property. Which, in my opinion, is reasonable suspicion and not probable.
God damn it.
It's alright.
Okay, I've got good news out of this,
Okay,
if you want to hear it.
go for it.
So because we only charged him with a terroristic act and we did not push anything else, everything else as far as the murder stuff, we can do as applicable warrants and arrest him for that so we can keep him in jail.
Here comes the question. I spoke to him here, and he told me that if he gets like discharged, so any evidence was pretty much no.
Any evidence that came from the arrest warrant? So
For the terroristic
stuff-
act specifically, but we can
Yeah.
also go at it at a different angle and get him for torture of Adrian. Because he did torture. There's no
yes,
doubt
there
about
were-
it.
Yeah. You can get torture.
We can go
'cause
for
it's not double
mutilated
jeopardy.
attempted murder. We can go for aggravated kidnapping too, because it was a part of
Yep.
a series of crimes.
Uh-huh.
So there is avenues to this. Ethan, Sonny, Fallon, Oxford, come here. Let's get all of us on it. Let's look at the charges of what we can turn this into, so that we are not putting him for double jeopardy. Let's turn it into torture, mutilation, attempted murder, aggravated kidnapping, and also look at the murder charges as well based on the document that I posted in the tracker, if you guys wouldn't mind helping me with this. So we can have a quick turnaround on it. We make something out of this.
But all the evidence that was found on his person or in his car, as
Relating
Detective
to
Rose
this
was saying,
arrest
yeah,
is gone.
would be invalidated. Yeah.
But everything else still stands, and that's the beauty
But
of what we
the,
did, Logan.
The thing that was linking him to the scene of Adrian was his fingerprints, which they didn't
Yeah.
get until after his arrest.
But that
Exactly.
that still stands because it wasn't
Does it?
it wasn't a part of the arrest.
It was. It came. They got his fingerprints at his
Right,
arrest.
but his
and that's
fingerprints
when
have
it
been
came
found
back.
elsewhere, right?
No,
No?
that's the thing. The thing is, we found a fingerprints, but we couldn't find it in database. And but once we got him and arrested him, we got his fingerprints,
How-
on arrest.
Have we rerun his fingerprints since we got him?
That's the thing. Yes, that's the whole old. That's why I found out that it was he actually had Adrian. That's what it was on the tape. That's what it was on the gun that Adrian had even.
But Adrian still can pinpoint that at him based on witness testimony.
Not if he was masked.
He might not have been. We don't know.
I'm sure Adrian would have mentioned if he wasn't.
Jesus Christ. That's
But still, you guys still have a database of fingerprints. It's not like it's discarded completely.
So they're allowed to keep the fingerprints after them?
As far as I know, yeah, because it's part of an arrest procedure. He's been arrested.
that's why
It doesn't waive that part.
Wait, has he got prior history on his resume?
No, he doesn't. He has a clean record. That's the thing. This was the first time we ever got his fingerprints upon his arrest. That's why I'm like currently, if these fingerprints get discarded or anything like that, then what do I do with my fucking, with all the stuff I had built up?
What I would do, Jess, is whenever the verdict is, if he throws out the warrants, ask if the fingerprints need to be removed.
But we can also rearrest him on the other charges. Because then he has to go through the processing again, and part of it is taking fingerprints. Am I not correct?
Yeah,
but
like,
the probable cause leading
yeah,
into that would be
the probable cause is the fingerprints.
Yeah, and we can't use them if the judge decides to throw them out.
Then he can
You know what I
just
mean?
walk out of here.
Because anything they had that was tying him to that they displayed was the one line,
Right.
and then the
But here's the
property
thing.
ownership.
Adrian was inside of there and stated that he used the key directly.
Yeah.
That's the saving grace of everything within this warrant, which is why I pointed that line out specifically.
But people have keys to my apartment. They
Right.
don't own it.
But it is the owner's responsibility, just like it is with cars, as it's been made on past case ruling, which we can use in our defense, that people are required to understand what is within their property. It is their knowledge that has to be ascertained. Am I correct on that, Oxford?
Yeah, basically. Also, at the time of the warrant, he was the only one listed with any keys or copies of keys.
Oh, there you go. Even better.
So
at that
yeah.
point, we still have him.
Yeah.
So we haven't lost him.
Yep.
So think of it that way. We haven't lost him.
It's shaky, but
It's
yeah.
shaky, but we can
It's
do it.
very shaky.
You said there was 17 cases that you've got now, Jess?
Yeah, if you look
From
at the
MCD.
document, it's there.
Yeah, okay, just link me that later and I'll shred it later.
It is currently in our tracker. It is what Logan gave us, wonderfully organized. It is pinned within the tracker, so you should be able to find it.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
the newest one because Alistair's was like literally bad. No, said a very, very bad way about this
now,
case
though, I
file.
think the perfect fucking rebuttal we could have used.
We'll write it down so you don't lose it, because we could probably still use it depending on what he rules.
I'll sit down with a cigar later and rip it apart.
I want a whiskey dip cigar. That sounds really nice right now.
Hey, I'll buy you one after this on me.
Yeah. We have a chance at it, but it's a slim chance. We can probably take it and run. It's a possibility. That's what I'm going to keep cracking. God damn it. Are all my coffees spoiled? Hang on.
Do you need a drink or something?
No, I got one. No, it's better. I got one.
Yay!
Okay, okay. No
Okay,
problem.
what do you think
There's
of
only
that?
Just
two that
offering
were...
it.
It's okay. Where did you post it?
On the docket trial
Too many.
thingy that Ethan put together, the Word doc that we have going.
Oh, yeah. That's a good idea. Also, thank you, too, for stepping up. I was kind of having a mild panic attack there, so I physically could not speak. And I was frustrated.
I know.
Sorry, Ethan, for putting you on the spot like that. But I
Oh,
appreciate
you're all
that.
good.
With the helmet?
You're all good. I was just trying to get words together.
That was clearly a joke.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally, Maria
If
did
they say it's
actually
garbled, how the
endorse
hell
saying
do they know
something
what
about
was said?
Those Saber rules. So we'll see how
But
it
that doesn't help the
goes.
state either.
No, because that
Yep.
kind of jeopardizes us at that point, because if it's supposedly unintelligible, then how do we know what it said?
No. It's a good one, though.
I mean, if all else fails, it might be just what we need.
I think we can. Yeah, we can do it. Fuck it. What do I know? I've taken nothing into something.
Jess,
Yeah,
breathe, please.
I'm fine.
No, you're not. You can lie to yourself, but you can't lie to me.
Hmm.
Yeah, vertical half mask.
Okay, I'm
But
gonna
yeah, no,
sit.
Jess had the right train of thought. Even if he gets let go on terroristic act, we can still go for the other charges that he has.
It's not double
Aggravated
jeopardy.
kidnapping. Yeah. Would it be?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so. So we can go for the everything but terrorism.
Everything but terrorism. On that case specifically, there's another
Yeah.
case that might actually have him at terrorism, which we would have to define. So we could rearrest him based on those charges.
So we could still win this and pull through.
We could do.
Or if we lose this one, we can come out of here, right? Go back to the DOJ, reorganize ourselves, get everything going, build a case file, work with MCD on it, and then hit him hard.
Okay,
All
can
one
I
sweep.
Can I be blunt
But I don't
here?
want him let out. What?
No, blunt to Ethan specifically. It's what we've been trying to do for months.
It's what we all have been trying to do.
I understand that. What I mean is, like, instead of us just filing charges straight away, we make sure we got our ducks in a row so we don't miss a second shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as I said in the docket, there's a link to a case that Bert and I were working on that lists every single incident report relating to the Whisperers that we were able to find so far. If you're able to use that to your advantage, then please, by all means, feel free to add to it.
There we go. Go lay down, dog. Get out from under the desk. Thank you. Which
Do you want
one
me
is
to
your
link it to you if
character?
you found it?
I am the one sitting down. On the left.
Who are you talking to?
You.
Yeah, link it to me. Put it in the tracker.
It's already in the tracker.
I want to stand up. Do we have
Hey,
the
Sam.
importing? Hey
How
there.
far up?
Have you been spaced out this entire time?
No, I just could not be talking earlier. I don't know why.
You should have.
Ah, okay.
Sonny,
I take a
appreciate you.
discomfort. Oh, hey there. I appreciate
Hi.
you. Oh, shit, maybe he's saying
God
I'm
damn.
being loud without saying I'm being loud.
Sonny, you're being loud. Love you.
You think you? Am I quieter? I don't know.
A bit.
This is not okay.
She okay? Does she need some chocolate?
I don't know.
Shit.
What do you think? Out of
Jessica,
what you heard?
Jessica, now's not the time.
I'm not gonna lie, I feel like this could be going better. Just putting that up
do.
So
there.
you're good. You're fine.
Are you okay?
We got this, we got this.
I got some
yes,
bison.
because I know
Do you
this
need
is
to
not.
stress eat? I have a breakfast burrito.
I need to stress drink. That's what I need.
Oh,
Right. We
I
walked
don't
in
have any
here, we
alcohol.
knew this was a long shot, right?
Yeah.
Just remember, we can still go for everything else. Just this one might be lost, but we can get him on other charges. For
We might
this
have lost the
incident.
battle, but we can still win the war.
Exactly. This is what I'm saying. Maybe...
Well, let us find out.
Oh, please, God, please, God, please, God, please, God.
When people are standing around saying, please, God, and panicking, not good.
You can all be seated. So I'm gonna go over what the steps are. So first things first, I'm gonna go over my ruling in
This is
regards to the
Sonny.
validity of the
I also have
warrants
Kelly.
and so on. And then after that,
I'm
we'll talk
Margin.
about how the case will proceed after that. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
So, like I said originally, voice identification is not valid. I did listen to the entirety of the recording, and I will say that while the voice identification is not a valid way to identify somebody, the other aspect I did say was two-party consent to invalidate the recording. And after reviewing the entirety of the recording, two-party consent is voided, and therefore the recording remains valid. There was a discussion of several different crimes that took place throughout the entirety of the recording. There were several negotiations
I am on
to
Kelly mode.
stop harming individuals, and so on. However, there was another piece to that I said is about the usefulness of the recording. Because voice identification is not a valid way to identify someone in our state, just due to the reliability factor of it, in order for this recording to really be useful, law enforcement or investigators or the Department of Justice or whomever would have had to kind of interrogated or got a confession or even had the individual on the recording state their name while on the radio. Unfortunately, throughout the entirety of that recording, nothing was stated in regards to who he was or anything other than the fact that he was a whisperer. And even that wasn't explicitly stated, but it was definitely implied. And I would say that was more than enough to tie whoever was speaking on that radio was definitely a member of the Whisperers, or rather insinuating or pretending to be a member of the Whisperers. But with that in mind, the recording is quite useless. So moving on to the search warrant, we'll start there. So I read the entirety of the search warrant, and I'm going to remain that search warrant will remain valid. After reviewing the probable cause affidavit, a crime had been committed in the residence of apartment 16 on Marathon Avenue, and as such, the property immediately becomes a crime scene. All records relating to or about the residence become valid, and therefore, like I said, the warrant is
If that is
approved
valid,
and will remain valid.
the arrest warrant
However,
possibly still valid.
The next part of that is the arrest warrant. In the arrest warrant, probable cause affidavit, quite honestly, is not thorough, nor is it long, nor is it really covering much of anything. And the only thing it really references is that recording, which is valid, but useless because there is no one identified in that recording. And with that in mind, I will be invalidating the arrest warrant today. Because there is no identification.
It's above average
whatsoever
Senior Officer Kelly Price,
to
Los
Jonathan
Angeles Police
Rochester.
Department, Bar Certified Trademark.
Actually, hold on. Give me one quick second. There was one piece of the arrest warrant that I didn't see. Just give me 2 seconds.
Maybe you've heard my accent before. This is Kelly. Got a very accentuated southern accent. She likes to say words incorrectly.
Yeah, even after reading this as well. So as I said, the arrest warrant, in my personal opinion, I wouldn't have approved this because there is nothing identifying Mr. Rochester.
I feel like the fact that he owns the apartment,
except for a recording based on voice identification. which is a
What-
problem.
What about the
because
fact
voice
that he is
identification
the
is,
owner of the
like I
apartment?
said, not a valid way to identify somebody. So, just a general recap: the recording is valid, the
But
search warrant
useless.
is valid, the arrest warrant will be vacated and invalidated. And that's where I am at. In regards to us proceeding to trial, I am asking both sides what their recommendation is before I proceed with any further ruling. So if the state would like to proceed, they may.
Can we ask for a 5-minute recess, Your Honor?
Sure.
Thank you.
We'll enter a 5-minute recess.
Free
Logan,
now,
come here.
yeah.
Sorry, guys, can I squeeze past?
And come here
Yeah,
too.
just trying to. Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
Oh shit.
What?
Here, come over
You
here,
want me-
detectives.
Okay.
Over here, over here, over here.
Oh, can I come too?
Yes, we are
Come on,
getting him on the other charges that we are going to be pushing, so I need all DOJ on deck right now within the 5 minutes to make sure that we get all the charges. At least majority of them. We're going to rearrest him right now.
Okay.
Wait, can you push for these charges again? Like for
If we
Not
if
for
if,
terroristic- not the stuff he's arrested on. No, so we cannot. We can push the other charges.
yeah,
We
so
have
not
them.
yes, not for terrorism, but for other charges, or unless we somehow get new evidence. But
So
that,
the evidence that they have is based on the fingerprints that they found on the scene the day after this whole incident happened with Adrian. So what we are going to do is we are going to push a wave of evidence, but we are going to arrest him on the other charges.
And also his DNA we got, so his hair strand was found inside of that box, which Adrian
No, that
was nearby.
that evidence still stands.
yeah, the search
Yeah,
warrant.
yeah.
Still,
I'm just saying.
The search warrant stands. It's the arrest warrant that doesn't stand. The arrest warrant on which you guys brought him in on. Everything else stands. What we are telling you is we have him, we just need to get all the other charges now.
Okay.
What? Okay, just pause a minute. When did this happen? This incident?
This incident happened in 2022, I believe September.
No.
So what are you gonna push?
We
Are you
can still
talking about
push
the Adrian case, Jess?
the Adrian case, but you can still use evidence found from there.
That was on the 11th of February 2023.
Right, but we can push him for the murders. We can push him for the first-degree murders right now.
That was this year too.
That was this year. Richard's was this year. Annabelle's was this year. The fact that her evidence was not dismissed from Adrian's case, we dropped the terroristic stuff, but we can use the identification there, the fingerprints and stuff in this whole situation. Do you see what I'm saying?
Why can you not still charge him with terrorism?
Yep.
Okay, so you've got the murder of Richard and what else?
Murder of
Ah,
Richard,
well,
murder of
he's for
Annabelle
hanging out.
Holland, and what is the other murder?
Think his name is Hill or something like that.
We need to know who it is.
Jeremy
It's-
Hill.
Jeremy Hill.
Jeremy Hill. It's a local government
Okay.
worker.
Okay. So there's those. Let me find your case shit. Is there any other charges that we can push besides that for
I don't know
Richard
anything about
Starr's
this case.
murder? He was kidnapped. So we can push him. Yep,
But-
write all the charges down.
Think about statute of limitations though.
It was July 17th, 2023. First degree murder
Right.
still falls within statute of limitations for
Right,
that.
but everything else though.
Okay. Kidnapping is 30-day, correct?
Yes.
So we can't push that.
So when I was putting together a list, I wrote aggravating kidnapping, torture, mutilation, attempted first degree, possession of human remains.
When did this happen again? This with the torture and mutilation?
This happened once during the Adrian case, as he basically tortured her.
That won't
This
that won't count.
happened-
That won't
And
count.
the detectives breaker for the OIS, please.
You guys go. We'll handle it. Go, 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 go.
Okay, right.
We have possession of
Tiebreaker
government
for OIS,
property,
please.
but I don't know if that's going to count.
So we can hit him for the 3 murders. That's the only thing we can hit. So we can hit him for 3 times first degree murder.
That sounds like a lot.
Hold, I'm trying to find the torture one. We know. We know. Severed hand. There was a hand cut off of Richard Starr. Blood in the severed hand was tested to be returned to Richard Starr upon... This was July 17th. Fuck.
God damn it.
With the statute of limitations on torture and mutilation is 30 days.
Explosives.
Why?
We can do that. So, fuck's the charge for that one. Use of explosives. We can hit him. So 3 first degree. Use. Station was evacuated for safety. The EOD were notified of the events. Yeah, so he left a bomb behind it. I'm looking. No, a bag. It was assumed as that, so it could be a public scare of some type. Bomb threat. So we are in statute. That would maybe. Hang on. That was July 18th. Fuck. Death of Annabelle Holland, August 18th. So that's still going to be murder. Let me just see what was found there before we continue. And then the arrest warrant is discarded. So we can only hit him with the 3 first-degree murders today. The fact the fingerprints were tied back to the original situation of Adrian Jacks. We can hit her. We can hit with torture and mutilation.
The fingerprints we have from the arrest warrant, which was invalidated, right?
It's not from the arrest warrant. It was fuck.
So we can't. So this whole thing's invalid.
Does the state need a little more time?
I say yes, please. 5 minutes.
Yes, another 5 minutes is applicable, Your Honor.
Yep.
Okay.
So think about it.
I just want to notate for all parties at 6 o'clock Eastern on the dot, we'll be entering a 20-minute recess. Just so everyone's aware.
Oh shit! Why?
So look at his profile. So his very first arrest was that warrant. Then yeah. Then the fingerprints are invalid, so we've got no ID. Yeah, so that's it. There's nothing. So that arrest warrant from MCD's out. So then the fingerprints are out. So then the whole thing's out.
Fuck.
Yes, because the warrant was the warrant. Yeah, because the warrant request wasn't finished. But I don't know. He just said it was incomplete. There's nothing we can do about that. If I could time travel, then great. But he said,
no, don't drop charges.
He's not good.
oh, we don't have a case to build on.
Ethan,
Logan,
don't say drop charges. Don't say that. Just withdraw the case. Because if you say drop charges, then you fuck the DOJ. But I'm going to state an unpopular opinion. Withdraw the trial, get our ducks in a row, and then blast the shit out of them.
Well, except we can't because all of the evidence we had to blast him with currently went outside the statute of
You okay, Logan?
limitations.
I have an idea about that, but I can't discuss it here.
What's up, Logan? Logan? What's up? No. I don't know who Sergeant Sampson is, but he dropped the ball.
Why is there a statute of limitations on murder?
So yeah, I hate to say it, he dropped the ball. Like you said, the search warrant's fine. The arrest warrant's shit.
Fuck.
Okay, please watch Adrian. When we go back to it, lady with back left, pink hair, watch her. She's the victim. She's probably going to charge him or something.
Okay. That's not Ella, is it?
No, that's Adrian.
Oh, right. I thought you were talking about the one in front of her who also has pink hair.
No, very back left.
Yeah.
What are you guys doing?
Just say withdrawing, not drop.
I would just say no further comment at this time, and then leave it at that, and then
Okay.
whatever his ruling is, right? Don't say like withdraw charges or anything like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. No recommendations at this time. Yep, completely neutral, and then we get our shit together, get our
Right.
thinking caps on, and then blast the shit out of them.
If you want Ethan, I can blast him
Otherwise,
with
we
that because
risk
he did most of the
creating
talking
the
here.
same scenario.
Yeah, I can say it. Ready?
Your Honor, the state's ready to proceed when you are.
Is the defense ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
This is sucks.
All right. Whenever you're ready, this state.
The state at this time wishes to provide no further comment, Your Honor.
Okay. What about the defense?
The defense would like to motion to dismiss with prejudice and also to strike any evidence gained in the process of his arrest.
Okay, and the state has nothing to comment on that.
Not at this time, Your Honor.
Okay, give me 1 second.
I would have said something about dismissing with prejudice.
Whoops. Ignore that. No, don't. No.
Be quiet, dog. Stop whining at me.
How long has the defendant been incarcerated for?
30 days about.
Your Honor, the state does have one comment.
Yeah, go ahead.
The state would ask that the case isn't dismissed with prejudice. The state didn't have chance to file all evidence related to the case on the docket before the probable cause hearing today.
Okay, give me 1 quick second.
Thank you.
If requested, by the way, I have a rebuttal for that.
I have to go after this. I have to go play Dungeons and Dragons. But we will be back tonight. Hopefully to be doing the crimes.
What's the rebuttal? Go ahead.
I would, I'm sure you're aware, but they have 4 chairs, and docket has been open for 30 days.
Your Honor, as a state's rebuttal to that
Hold on.
claim.
Let her just finish.
Go on.
And it's been 30 days. Additionally,
with
this
the
incident
Liam, he's
happened a
awake.
great long time ago, November, I believe, of which time they should have had plenty of time, even prior to posting, to collect all evidence. I find that excuse weak.
Your Honor, as a rebuttal, the state, as per your ruling, has up to 24 hours before trial, not a probable cause hearing, to submit its evidence to the courts for discovery. Discovery is still open at this time.
Yes. Because I will be back after D&D. It's usually over around 10ish. I don't think he is on duty.
All right. So, this might be lengthy or unorganized because I'm going to spit this off the fly. So, what I am going to be doing is I will be semi-granting the defendant's wishes. This case will be dismissed, but it will be dismissed without prejudice. Typically, I only dismiss with prejudice if there was a constitutional violation. I do believe that the warrant was filed in good faith, and therefore I don't believe that it is a constitutional violation. The Department of Justice, as they so please, may file their own charges through a warrant, as this has obviously extensive time. They'll also have to validate whether or not we've exceeded the statute of limitations for this charge. But as I stated, this case will be dismissed without prejudice. And should the Department of Justice wish to refile, they may do so under the laws, regulations, and guidelines provided by the state. Are there any other questions by any of the parties? Actually, before we go forward, I will state the reason for the dismissal is solely based on the factor that the originating warrant that allowed this case to proceed anyways has been invalidated. Therefore, there is no arrest warrant. Mr. Rochester should not have been arrested based on the arrest warrant and probable cause affidavit that was filed. Therefore, unless there was another warrant that was tying Mr. Rochester to
I don't know
this
that
case
Adrian will do
under an
anything.
arrest, we cannot proceed forward. So as I stated, Department of Justice will need to refile under the laws, regulations, and legislation that we have. Are there any questions before I adjourn?
No questions from the state, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Court's adjourned. Thank you for your time.
I can't type. Fat fingers.
Okay, I'm going to go to the office and get to work.
Wait.
What was that, Your Honor?
Sorry.
Was the defendant held without bail?
Yes, Your Honor. Due to the charges that were levied against him, he was remanded to Bolingbroke.
Okay.
There is being blood on the wall.
I'll walk away so you can talk.
Oh, yeah, we'll talk about it in a second.
Shit.
I just saw SWAT and I was like, fuck. Big going on.
Want to get the MK2 pistol?
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair enough. What was the outcome? Was it a good outcome?
You care about the outcome. We'll see if he will talk on the phone. Let's find out. We will try to call him. I don't know why I'm calling him from here. We will go. Hey there. Listen, Mr. LeBlanc. He have the warrant. He supposed to be in the jail.
He's supposed to be in jail?
Yes, he get arrested for violating bail, and he also for did not process his bail correctly. He get let go, and now he remain at large and will not turn himself in until the judge ordering. But I don't know if I could be asking the judge to order him to turn himself in. You hanging up on me?
Cause hearing for Whisper.
I go.
It went splitsies, to be honest. I expected it was gonna be a one way or the other, but it was down the middle, which was surprising. So they didn't dismiss with prejudice, that's a start. But they didn't uphold the arrest warrant either. So I mean he's walking the street, but that gives us a chance to also fix the holes.
Ryan, if you want to come up with me again.
Okay. So, okay, so he was arrested, this hearing happened, and now he's walking the street, but is still being held on trial.
He's a suspect in multiple other things, so yeah.
Right, okay.
Why is there a statute of limitations on murder?
There isn't. The problem isn't murder. The problem is torture and mutilation and kidnapping and torture. Which I have a way of getting around that, so.
Oh, perfect.
But I needed time. Huh?
Is it perfect?
It's not perfect, but it's
I believe
good.
in you.
Yeah. Yeah, so I just need time, which is what we have now. You know, unfortunately he's out there, but yeah. Okay, I'm gonna get to the desk and start bashing away on the keyboard here.
Mm-hmm. How are you doing, Sonny?
I am okay.
Good, good.
I am just waiting to go to court for the
Is there a-
cases. Well, I
is there a-
have one on Wednesday.
On Wednesday, okay. I thought you was on about today.
No, Wednesday.
Okay. Which case is that one?
Mr. Unity in Swiss.
Swizz, okay. That's for the 2 counts of aggravated attempted, correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
Recipients. Let me look. Montgomery.
How are you feeling about that one for Wednesday?
I am feeling okay. I am reaching out to the other first to see, making sure they will come to the court.
Alrighty.
And if they cannot be coming, then I will get the affidavit or the deposition. The September 27.
You good, Ryan?
Yep.
Alrighty, let's head on up. State attorney will be with us soon. Acting state attorney.
Alrighty.
We might as well do the one for this one. This one is September 30th at 2 p.m. Leon. Governor. I think that is all I need. Cardiac. Oh, shit, is she not in the state anymore? What? Trainee paramedic firefighter. Let us see. Mm. Shit, what happened to Amelia Vauxhall? This is a problem. People are witness and participate in the crimes, and then all of a sudden, not available. I am taking a hard, long break. Alright, well, we are going to go to sleep. We'll be back in a few hours. We need to try and find out what happened. We will find out what happened to Amelia. She no longer exists in this state, so maybe she died. That will be unfortunate. Anyway, go to Dungeons and Dragons. We'll be back in a few hours. Have an above average night. Have a sunny day. Fuck off!